Hello.
Hey, welcome back to Tether,
Fuck.
everyone. We just realized we weren't recording for the past 30 minutes and we actually
Ah.
just beat the Crystal Guardian during the past 30 minutes. And we've
Ah.
unlocked this bench and we just realized that OBS wasn't recording. So we're starting here
Sorry.
now.
Fuck. I
Yeah.
should have realized the recording was. Ah. Ah.
Okay, enough of your bitching.
Uh huh.
Okay, so last time Quez was around, now he's not because he's busy with stuff. It's just us again. Yeah, we just killed the Crystal Guardian and we're continuing this area of the world. And also, we were continuing the Necron lore with the Great Awakening. Do you still want to listen to all of that again?
Okay, for the viewers.
Okay. So yeah, we're picking up where we left off at the Great Awakening. At least this is where I think we stopped, or at least halfway through this. It's a pretty long one. So I'm just
Fucker.
gonna read through all these paragraphs again. The Great Awakening. It starts off with a quote. Adversary, know that your squalid colony rests upon a rightful crown world of the Novok dynasty. Know also that whilst your presence cannot be tolerated, we are bound by code of honor to allow you opportunity to withdraw. You are therefore granted 1 solar month, commencing at the termination of this transmission, to remove all trace of your presence. If you fail to accept this generous offer, my armies shall conclude these negotiations. We advise you not to mistake honorable warning for lack of resolve. Necron Ultimatum received by Planetary Governor Mendican Harrow of Imperial Hiveworld Dole 6. None can say for sure how many tomb worlds entered the Great Sleep, but it is certain that a great many did not survive into the late 41st millennium. Technologically advanced, though the
Found Quirrell.
Necrons were, to attempt to stay asleep of such scale was a great risk even for them. Okay, Quirrell. This guy again. What does he have to say? Quite a view, no? I'm not surprised that you survived the trek through these shimmering caverns. There's an air of strength about you. I suspect it would be quite intimidating if not for your small stature.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Is he gonna help us at some point, or is he just
I.
gonna appear
Maybe?
every now and again?
Who knows?
Where was I? Okay. For 60 million Terran years, the Necrons slept, voicelessly waiting for their chance to complete the Silent King's final order, to restore the Necron dynasties to their former glory. As the centuries passed, even more tomb worlds fell prey to malfunction or ill fortune. For many, the results were minor, such as a disruption to the operation of the tomb world's chronostat or revivification chambers, causing the inhabitants to awaken later than it intended. But some of the tomb worlds suffered more Oh boy. Oh, that came out. But some of the tomb worlds suffered more calamitous events. Cascade failures of stasis crypts destroyed millions, if not billions, of dormant Necrons. Some tomb worlds were destroyed by the retribution of marauding Eldari, their defense systems overmatched by these ancient enemies of the Necrons. Other tomb worlds fell victim to the uncaring evolution of the galaxy itself. Tectonically unstable planets crushed Necron strongholds slumbering at their hearts stars went supernova, consuming orbiting tomb worlds in their death throes. And everywhere, inquisitive life forms traveled and fought over the bones of Necron territories, causing more damage in their unthinking search for knowledge than the vengeful Eldari ever could.
Okay.
The awakening has been far from precise, and the Necrons have not arisen as one people but in fitful starts over scattered millennia like some Gestalt sleeper rising from a troubled dream. Errors in circuitry and protocols ensured that the revivification, destined to take place in the early years of the 41st millennium of the imperial calendar, actually began far earlier in a few cases or has yet to occur at all in others. The very first tomb worlds revived to see the great crusade of the Emperor of Mankind sweep across the galaxy in the late 30th millennium. A handful stirred in time to see the Nova Terra Interregnum, when Nova Terra challenged the might of the Golden Throne in the 34th millennium for 900 years, or arose at the hour in which the Apostles of the Blind King waged their terrible wars that began in 550 millennium 37. Some have still never awoken. Even now in the era Indomitus of the 41st millennium, billions of Necrons still slumber in their stasis tombs, silently awaiting the clarion call of destiny. It is rare for a tomb world to awaken to full function swiftly, but the slightest flaw in the revivification cycle, the engrammatic pathways of a Necron sleeper scatter and degrade. In most cases, these coalesce over time to restore identity and purpose, but it is a process that can take solar decades or even Terran centuries, and cannot be hurried.
Oh.
Sometimes recovery never occurs and the sleeper is doomed forever to a mindless state. There are thousands of tomb worlds scattered throughout the galaxy whose halls are thronged with shambling automatons, Necrons whose minds fled during the long hibernation and whose bodies have been co-opted by a tomb world's master autonomic program in an attempt to bring some form of order to their existence. Other Necrons refer to such places as the severed worlds, and they loathe and fear their inhabitants in equal measure. None of this is to say that even an individual Necron lucky enough to achieve a flawless revivification awakens alert and aware. One of the hidden tyrannies of biotransference was how it entrenched the gulf between the rulers and the ruled, for there were not enough resources to provide all Necrontyr with the living metal bodies that possessed the density of engrammatic pathways required to retain the full gamut of personality and awareness. Thus, as was ever the case, the very finest necrodermis bodies went to those individuals of the highest rank within the Necrontyr society, the Pharaons and Overlords, their cryptics and Nemesors. For the professional soldiery, the merely adequate was deemed appropriate. As for the common people, they received that which remained, comparatively crude mechanical bodies that were little more than lobotomized prisons for their minds. Numb to all joy and experience, they are bound solely to the will of their betters, their function meaningless without constant direction. Yet even here, a tiny spark of self-awareness remains, enough only to torment the Necron with vague memories and echoes of the past it once knew. For these tortured creatures, death would be far preferable, but alas, they no longer have the wit to realize it or the autonomy to search it out. Having slept so still and for so long, it is not possible for a tomb world to awaken quickly into a fully alert state. While dormant, Each tomb world's stasis tubes are controlled by a master artificial intelligence program known as Deep Spirit or Tomb Mind that oversees its essential maintenance and defense, mobilizing what resources it judges appropriate to any given situation or threat. As long as the awaited time of awakening nears, as best can be judged by each tomb mind, more of its systems are brought online and more of the interred revived. A tomb world is at its most vulnerable during the revivification process. The colossal amounts of energy generated are detectable across light years and are an irresistible lure to the inquisitive and acquisitive alike. In its early stages, a tomb world's defense lies in the hands of the Necrons' robotic servitor constructs, the canoptic spiders, scarabs, and wraiths. Initially, these defenders will be directed by the tomb world's tomb mind,
God damn it.
whose complex algorithmic decision matrix allows it to calculate an efficient response to any perceived threat. As the threat level rises, so too does the intensity of the master program's countermeasures, prioritizing the activation of the Tomb World's automated defenses and the revivification of its armies according to the needs of the situation at hand. If all goes well, the master program's actions will be sufficient to drive out the invader, or at least stall their progress until the first Necron legions have awoken. Often, it is the lower order of Necrons, the Necron warriors and immortals, that are awakened in the initial phases. These nearly mindless automatons following their lifeless protocols are brought online first, so that the way might be prepared for the more senior members of the dynasty. As each tier in the Necron dynasty's hierarchy is revived, each more intelligent and bearing more individuality than the last, the whole process gradually begins to appear more like the workings of an ancient civilization and less like that of some great machine. At the allotted time, a Necron overlord is awakened, and upon their full revival, the tomb mind cedes power to its creators. From that point onward, a truly ancient mind leads the tomb world, and what happens next depends entirely upon their character and ambition. Having been awakened and control turned over to an overlord, the tomb world must in time take its place in the domains of the Necron dynasty that it created. While many dynasties have never awakened and, due to a variety of disasters, never will, many are slowly piecing together their former domains. One world at a time, empires that vanished eons ago are being rebuilt, and long dormant hierarchies are reasserting themselves once more. At the center of each of these risen empires is a ground world, the glorious capital and seat of the pharaoh who rules an entire dynasty. Before it are numerous lesser tomb worlds and other Necron holdings, though rarely are these anywhere near as extensive as they were in their full glory 60 million standard years ago. Wow. Excuse me. When a large population center of a younger race of the galaxy has evolved or expanded across the stars to a womb world, the encoded programming delves deep into its data archives and armories in order to conduct an aggressive defense.
Hold on. I found a new dialogue.
Oh, what's this? Ah, what do you have here? Why, that's the key to my storeroom. I thought I lost it for good. Did you find it in those old mines, perhaps? Very curious. I've no idea how it ended up in such a remote place. Very honest of you to return it to me, yes. Very kind. And now that I can open my old storeroom up, I can sell you some of the rare stock that has been gathering dust in there. Some more stuff. These items may be a little time-worn, but they still retain their full market value. Very, very precious stuff. Take a look.
Okay. Oh, more shards and fragments. What is this? Oh, it's a key. Heavy blow. You enjoy smacking about foes with a nail of yours, right? With this charming grip, you'll be able to send them flying further. Oh, okay, good. More knockback. Sprint monster, you like it? A recent addition to my collection. Handsome thing, isn't it? Holding it lets you run around quickly and tirelessly, as though you were young again. Or so I'm told. Okay. So I have a charm that has more knockback and more fast, even more faster, I think.
Speed?
Yeah, speed. It's good. This costs 2. This costs 1. Okay. Okay. I think you can continue.
Okay. When a large population center of a younger race of the galaxy has evolved or expanded across the stars close to a tomb world, the encoded programming delves deep into its data archives and armories in order to conduct an aggressive defense. Such tomb worlds are the ones that have expanded their spheres of influence most rapidly, for its rulers have awakened to find their full military might already mobilized and awaiting their commands. Indeed, the speed with which many tomb worlds of the Sotek dynasty have recovered lost territory is chiefly attributable to the ultimately doomed wave of Olympiathi colonies established on their core worlds during the late 39th millennium. To external observers, the behavior of awoken tomb worlds must seem eclectic, almost to the point of randomness. Some Necron lords send diplomatic emissaries to the other worlds, negotiating for the return of lost territories and technological artifacts, or cast off into the stars searching for distant tomb worlds not yet awoken. Others focus attention inwards, avoiding unnecessary conflict with alien races to pursue internal politics or oversee the rebuilding of their planet to the glory of 60 million years past. The vast majority of tomb worlds, however, take a more aggressive tack, launching resource raids. Planetary invasions are the full-blown genocidal purges of the Necrons' former Khitan masters, once called Red Harvests, yet even here it is impossible to predict the precise form these deeds will take. Sometimes the Necrons attack in the full panoply and spectacle of honorable war, rigorously applying their ancient codes of battle. At others, every possible underhanded tactic is employed, from piracy and deception to assassination and subordination. On other occasions, the campaign is less a martial action and a systematic extermination than a systematic extermination, the swatting of lesser life forms as they themselves would swat insects. All of these acts, diverse though they are in scope and method, are directed towards a single common goal: the restoration of the Necron dynasties to rule over the galaxy. Yet, with the Triarch long gone and huge numbers of tomb worlds lying desolate or still dormant, there can be no galaxy-wide coordination, no grand strategy that will bring about Necron ascendancy. Instead, each tomb world's ruler must fend for themselves, pursuing whatever course they seem most suited to circumstance. For some, this is the domination of nearby threats and the sowing of terror on alien worlds. For others, it might be the recovery of cultural treasures of the lost Necrontier, the stockpiling of raw strategic materials for campaigns yet to come, or even the search for an organic species whose bodies might prove to be suitable vessels for Necron mines, thus finally ending the curse of biotransference. Indeed, this last matter, the apotheosis from undying machine back to living being, is the key motivating factor for many Necron nobles and royals, for its possibility weighed heavily on the Silent King's mind at the moment of his final command. All this is further complicated by the fact that the departure of the Silent King and the dissolution of the Necrontyr Empire's Triarch left no clear succession. As a result, the rulers of many tomb worlds see an opportunity not only to restore the dynasties of old, but also to improve their standing within the within the galaxy-wide Necron political hierarchy. The motives of Necron nobles and royals are often muddied by the pursuit of personal power, making accurate divination of an individual's intentions, and therefore of the campaigns conducted by their undying legions nigh impossible. Only now, as more and more tomb worlds awaken, it is a pattern becoming visible to those whose mission it is to stand watch upon the trackless reaches of the galaxy and beyond. Piecing together scattered accounts of skull-faced reaper machines rising from the dust of dead worlds, the length and breadth of the galaxy, the Xeno savants of the Imperial Inquisition are faced with a stark realization. What at first appeared to be unrelated alien raids serving no overall purpose were in fact the heralds of a disaster of galactic proportions facing the Imperium of Man. Oh boy, did you understand all that?
Some of.
Next is Necrons in the 41st millennium. The Necrons are still a shadowy presence rather than a full-fledged force in the galaxy of the present time. They strike out of nowhere without warning, wreak havoc, and leave before any major reinforcements can arrive. The origins of these various attacks and their motives are unknown, though it is known that the current Necron forces in the galaxy are only soul harvesters, not the full-fledged fighting machines of the Khitan. They seem to attack from nowhere, often simply appearing at nearly any location in the galaxy, no matter how well defended. Once in the recent past, they touched down on Mars, simply passing by the Imperial Navy fleets protecting the Sol system unnoticed, and ultimately casting doubt on the impregnable status of Terra itself. The Necrons reached the Red Planet's surface and explored its subterranean Noctis Labyrinthus, perhaps in search of one of their Khitan masters, believed to be the entity known in the legends of the Adeptus Mechanicus as the Dragon of Mars, before being destroyed by the agents of the Imperium. So yeah, apparently, the Necrons can just teleport to Mars. So now people are worried that they can just teleport to Earth, Holy Terra. And apparently they were exploring the Adeptus Mechanicus Labyrinth looking for the Dragon of Mars. So, you know about the machine spirit, right?
The Omnisaya?
Like, not the Omnisaya directly, like the concept of the machine spirit that all machines are alive, must be worshipped.
Yeah.
Sometimes if an Adeptus Mechanicus prays hard enough, things happen. And one of the reasons why that is because of the Dragon of Mars, which is believed to be one of the Khitan. But the Adeptus Mechanicus don't know it's a Khitan. And they don't know they're worshipping a Khitan as part of their religion. So yeah. I guess they were trying to kill the Dragon of Mars, but then they got destroyed before they could by the agents of the Imperium, which I'm going to guess is the Inquisition. In this incident, however, is a heavily guarded secret within the Imperium of Man, which greatly fears that the Necrons may awaken the entity, which may be the Khitan called the Void Dragon, which inhabits a stasis tomb beneath the sands of Mars. Ah,
What
so
is
it's
that
the
again?
Void Dragon.
I forgot what is that again. Void Dragon.
Void Dragon is one of the playable Khitan units in the tabletop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
we're
the
done.
same time, the Imperium has been unable to capture a Necron in an attempt to learn their secrets. Entire Necron forces simply vanish into thin air using their phase technology, and they always take their dead with them. The Necron forces come from tomb worlds as yet uncharted by the Imperium. Their phase technology allows them to deploy anywhere in the I think they deployed in my belly. Their phase technology allows them to deploy anywhere in the galaxy. Anywhere in the galaxy almost instantaneously through unknown means. In defeat, they phase out and return to their associated tomb world for repairs. Any Necrons that have fallen in battle can be repaired there and reanimated, so their losses thus far have been minimal. Should a Necron be totally annihilated in battle, then they are truly beyond phase out or repair. But again, often so little survives that the scientists of living races may have nothing to study. Why is my nose itching? The Necrons may have infiltrated the Imperium to an extent. Their elite anti-psyker troops, the Pariahs, are an unholy cross of human mutant and Necron technology. They're here. So the Pariahs, I'm pretty sure, are not in the actual tabletop game currently, but they are a unit in Dawn of War.
Which one?
They're the really tall ones that look like humans with staffs. They're melee units.
Which faction?
Necron. They're part of the Necrons. They're basically humans who became Necron.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very tall?
Hmm?
They're tall?
Yeah, tall, and they use staffs.
Are they the one that you
melee.
said that they're only what's the word again? Explicit? Like they are only appear in the game, the Dawn of War?
Yeah.
Ah, them. Okay.
It is believed by some Adeptus Mechanicus savants that the Necrons had the pariah gene engineered into what became the human gene pool over 60 million Terran years ago. So apparently they put the pariah gene in some of the humans when humanity began, before they slept during the Great Sleep.
What?
So
when
now they
they're
can
like
make
primitive?
some people.
When human
Yeah.
was primitive? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like in caveman times or whatever. So now they can pick out some of the humans and turn them into pariahs. This gene has since manifested itself in the agents of the Calexus Temple, the specialized anti-psyker assassins of the Officio Assassinorum.
Oh, is that one of the 4 temples?
Yeah. So Calexus Temple is, I'm pretty sure, is the anti-psyker assassins, and they're basically all blanks.
Oh.
Blanks are people who have like no connection to the warp. So all living beings have souls, so they have connections to the warp. But a blank is the opposite. A blank kinda seems like a soulless person, and how they interact with the warp is like they're like a black hole. Anything warp related, they absorb. So they're the perfect counter to psychers and demons. So demons live in the warp, which is the immaterial world, and we live in the real world, or the material world. Demons can come to the material world, but only for the short time, and blanks can absorb their warp energy to weaken their powers and make them go back to the warp much faster than they usually would.
Ah.
To counter this, a demon could also possess a host, like a human body or alien or whatever, and corrupt them. But they would be significantly weaker than their original forms. And the other thing blanks can do is the Tyranids have a strong connection to the warp. That's why they have a lot of psyker units. And the Tyranids and Gene Stealers are very afraid of blanks. Like, they don't want to get near them, and if they have to fight them, they will always try to kill them first because they're always freaked out by them. And same thing with psychers. Whenever they encounter a blank, they start freaking out. And even more with a Colexus Temple Assassin. They start screaming, they start going crazy because of the warp energy being absorbed and taken away from them.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Recently, however, there has been a dramatic decrease in the use of Necron pariahs in Necron armies, and the Ordoxenos, the group of inquisitors that focus on aliens, believes that these troops may not have proven as effective as Necron commanders had once hoped, and are being phased out of the Necron dynasty's order of battle. So they wanted to use pariahs as a counter to psychers and warp-related stuff, I guess, but it wasn't super useful. And now we go to the next chapter. Actually, how long has it been with the recording?
We still have like 26 minutes.
26.
Yeah.
Ancient enemies. Of all the galaxy's great powers, only the craft world Eldari see the Necrons for the threat they truly are to all of the other sentient species. And even they cannot be sure how many tomb worlds slumber in the darkness. After the war in heaven, the Eldari took up a silent watch for any sign of Necron re-emergence, and set watch on worlds they suspected of nurturing hidden stasis tombs. Many such worlds were seeded with life and adopted as homes by Asuryani outcasts and exodites, whose descendants would maintain the vigil where this was not possible. Suspected tomb worlds were marked on a great crystal map so that their locations would not be lost as the millennia passed. Yet, as the ages of the galaxy passed, the Eldari became distracted by their own plights, and thus forgot the duty they had sworn to uphold for their lost patrons, the Old Ones. By the time of the fall of the Eldari in the 30th millennium, the terrible birth of the Chaos God Slanesh, the slumbering Necrons had been all but forgotten. Only in the Black Library and amongst a few outspoken segments of the Eldari society did the vigil continue. For the Eldari, the Necrons are a nightmare come to life. The children of Isha hold soullessness to be the very worst of all fates, and the Necrons therefore provoke an abiding terror, and that the Eldari can never truly suppress. Huh. So, are you familiar with Isha?
No.
Isha is one of the many gods the Eldari worship.
Oh.
She is the god of life, the goddess of life. And currently, after, the Chaos Gods became a thing, killed off most of the Eldar gods, and tore apart Cain, the god of war, for the Eldari. Isha, the goddess of life, whose power is to give life to things, was captured by the Chaos God Nurgle.
Oh.
The god of decay, and is currently imprisoned in the realm of Nurgle, being used as a test subject for new diseases that he makes.
Oh. Oh boy.
And some people say she's basically become his wife now. In a sort of Stockholm syndrome sort of way, I guess.
Oh no. Fuck. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Oh boy. Oh. Okay. What's in here? Oh, souls. Okay. What's in here? Ah, I was stupid. The music kinda intense though. Oh my god.
Laser.
Oh god. Okay, there's them. Oh, do they change? Or can they be... Okay, good. This one. Oh my god. Oh! Okay. Just be careful. Oh god, what did I dash?
Where are you even right now?
It's still in the crystal area. Oh god, I was so slow. Oh bye. Oh god.
Ah!
Oh god, god damn it, right here. Okay, one more. God damn it. Okay, still. Yeah, boy.
Yee. Made it. Okay.
Oh god, I wasted it. God damn it.
For the senior council of the Alatok craft world, however, at the time of terrible vindication is at hand. The Asaryani of the Alatok remembered their ancient duty whilst their peers forgot. They recovered the fragments of the great map from one of the Crone worlds.
Wait a second, Justin.
Oh. Inspect.
Hey, inspect. What happened to me?
What was that?
Oh, I have this now. This is a supercharge. Super dash. Why not a gun or cling on to a wall to concentrate the force. Release the button to blast forward and fly through the air. So yeah, technically like a super dash. L2.
Laser!
Yeah, that's basically that. And not laser. Okay, so we have that now. Okay, so we can go here.
Like from Sonic Colors, laser.
But
And
the thing is, I can't stop it. Like, if I super dash, I super dash. And the only thing that stops me is any obstacle. Okay, so I
can it
can go.
damage? Can it,
Hmm?
can it deal damage?
Not sure.
Hmm. Can you do it upwards?
No, only. Yeah, only. Wait, what? Oh no. Oh, I can stop it. Yeah, I can stop it actually. Huh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
They recovered the fragments of the great map of one of the clone worlds of the Eye of Terror, spread their networks of outcasts and exodites ever wider, and waited for their ancient enemy to return. So it is that whilst most Asaryani craft worlds are rehoning half-remembered strategies from the war in heaven, a Laytok is reaching its hand. Whoa!
Oh, you okay?
Uh, excuse
Okay.
me. A demon is trying to escape. So
Okay.
it is that whilst most Asaryani craft worlds are rehoning half-remembered strategies from the war in heaven, a Laytok is reaching its hand assailing the Necrons on their own territory, sabotaging their tomb worlds and bringing the fight to their legions of undying warriors whenever the opportunity presents itself.
Oh,
And that's it.
okay. So if I supercharge through a next area, I still supercharge.
Ooh,
So yeah, see,
speedrun.
yeah, kind of like that. Okay. Okay, we should go to that area too. That's a lot of spikes because I can use the supercharge there. And if only I'm not. Eh. Okay, okay.
Ooh. Okay, it's not super long. So that was the end of that chapter. What was
Oh,
it called? Necrons in the 41st Millennium, Ancient Enemies. And now we go over to some more recent events in the 41st Millennium
oh, here we go. No. I was saying about the door.
related to the Necrons. Okay. Recent events. In the 41st Millennium, humanity is widespread throughout the stars of the galaxy and encounters the Necrons with some frequency. But there is no mechanism by
Wait,
which
God
the
damn it, that was a
experiences
bait.
of one embattled world can be shared with the wider Imperium of Man. Even if there were, by what means would the data be cataloged? Hundreds of human worlds are depopulated or destroyed every year, and if their fates are not noted at all by the Administratum, the cause of their demise is rarely discovered. There is no single repository of information in the Imperium, no established central historical record in the galaxy-spanning civilization so shrouded in ignorance and superstition. It would be remarkable if it were otherwise. Some Imperial scholars hold that the
What the
slaughter.
fuck?
Whoa. What a.
No, fucking worm guy turned into this. Oh no.
He was corrupted by chaos.
I feel bad.
Wow.
Gotta end this annoying shits. Eh.
What
Okay.
happened? Did something jump onto him and.
No, he just when I freed him, he just transforms.
Yeah.
God, this is so annoying. God damn it.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay,
Then there's
where was
still
I?
two of them. Oh, only one. Okay.
Oof.
Yeah, it's so annoying. God damn it. Okay. Go down here, please. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Where was I? Some Imperial scholars hold that the slaughter of the Sisters of Battle stationed at Sanctuary 101 in 897 Millennium 41 represented the first contact between mankind and the Necrons. Oh. Such individuals do so in ignorance of the many millions of encounters that, though predating the Sanctuary 101 event, went entirely unremarked upon because no one survived to make note of them. The Necrons were lost or deemed mythic or simply took place on a world where inhabitants made no distinction between differing alien perils. Huh. So the first official record of a battle between mankind and the Necrons were with the Sisters of Battle in Sanctuary 101 on 897 Millennium 41.
Oh, I'm here.
But in reality, there were...
I'm back from the very start.
Oh.
I found an elevator. Okay. So with the supercharge, I can actually go back here, and because that's a swamp area, so I can go back and supercharge there. And there's still lots of like unbreakable ground, but I still don't know what to do with that. Okay. Maybe I'll go back. Oh, first I'm going to find a bench to update the maps. Okay, I think you can go on.
Yeah, so apparently the first official record of a battle against the Necrons in the Imperium is with the Sisters of Battle, but actually there were more encounters of the Necrons with the Necrons prior to that. But the only reason they weren't recorded was because well,
they
basically the Necrons killed everyone and nobody survived.
Oh. I thought it was like they're embarrassed about it, and then no, that's not. Okay, so
More so, it displays the classic arrogance of those who assume that the boundaries of their knowledge are, in fact, the boundaries of reality. What follows is a list of the most pertinent recent events in the history of the reawakened Necron race and its Necrons with the other intelligent cultures of the galaxies. And after this is a pretty long list of events relating to the Necrons and other races that encountered them. So starting off, Bullet 1, 666 Millennium 41, the Yuktan Incident. The Yuktan system was a sparsely inhabited Imperial star system close to the eastern fringe, and the site of the first naval encounter between the Necrons and the Imperial Navy in 666 Millennium 41. A minor Imperial fleet of 6 escort ships and 1 light cruiser were destroyed, with the only survivor being a single Cobra-class destroyer. By the time a full Imperial fleet could be dispatched to the region to deal with what is now called the Yucatan Incident, the Necrons had disappeared, and the system was found devoid of all human life. Although similar and unexplained events had taken place up to this time, the incident at Yucatan was the first fully documented account of a Necron harvest of a populated world, as they sought fresh subjects for their research into apotheosis, the restoration of their consciousness to organic bodies. Oh, they were kidnapping people to experiment on them to try and transfer their minds into human bodies, I guess, so they can have flesh bodies.
oh boy.
CA 744 Millennium 41. The Return of the Silent King.
Oh.
The long-lost final Silent King of the Necron Triarch, Cesaric, enters the bounds of the Milky Way galaxy once more, having encountered the Tyranids in the intergalactic void. He recognizes the threat they pose to the Necrons' apotheosis. Yeah, because, the Tyranids are gonna eat everything, and they probably don't want to try and put their brains in in Tyranid bodies. If the Tyranids devour all organic life in the galaxy, the Necrons will never find living bodies to house their consciousnesses once more. Thus does the Silent King break his self-imposed exile with the goal of marshalling his people against this new threat. However, the Silent King has not anticipated the torpor in which the majority of the Necrons still lie. Many tomb worlds have been destroyed over the eons. Others still slumber, and most of those that have awoken are still disoriented or somehow damaged. The Silent King is therefore forced to reevaluate his plans. Working with the surviving Triarch Praetorians, he begins a pilgrimage across the galaxy, stirring those tomb worlds yet to revive and speeding the recovery of those tomb worlds already awake. It is the Silent King's wish that the younger races' flawed attempts to destroy the Tyranids do not simply feed the invading Highfleets, beyond the point where even a united Necron people have any hope of victory. Huh. 781 Millennium 41. Storm clouds gather. This is a short one. After long years of preparation, Imhotep the Stormlord assumes control of the crown world of Mandragora as the Pharaoh of the Sotek dynasty and begins his conquest of the galaxy. 793 Millennium 41. Raid on Solemnus. This is a Following the onset of Hive Fleet Behemoth's assault on the galaxy and its defeat at the Battle of Macragge, the world of the Ultramarines.
Oh!
Ultramarines.
The Smurfs.
The xenobiologists and inquisitors of the Imperium are left with...
Do I have to time this?
Do you not have invincibility?
No. I think I have to time this. So there's 3 of them, okay. Oh, that's it, okay.
Hey.
Oh, okay, that was a spike.
Actually, what? How long has the recording been now?
There's still 6 minutes left.
6 minutes.
Okay, how do I...
Maybe I'll continue this next episode, so I'm just gonna watch you play for now.
Okay, how do I think I have to jump over it. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh my god. Okay, there's 3 of them. I have to time it. Okay, hold on.
Laser!
No, not yet.
Laser!
I have to... No, I have to find a right timing.
Laser!
Fuck, yeah, okay, that was a bad one. Ah.
No?
No. Okay, wow. That was a shot in the dark, actually. Fuck, there's 5 of them. Kinda like the intense. Oh, they're like... Okay, they're like... Domino effect, okay. Oh god, okay, too early. God damn it, I didn't jump.
It's on the last one.
Oh, there it is. Okay,
Hey.
good. Oh, what's up here? Is this going to take me back? I swear. Yeah, I think this is just going to... Okay, okay. Maybe there's something at the end? If not, then I just can go back. Yeah, okay.
Did you not go through there? Was it blocked?
Hmm?
Was it blocked?
Where?
The end there? You couldn't go down?
What, up here?
Yeah?
No, it's just going back to the... Wait, hold on, let me open. Nope. Yeah, just going back here.
Mm.
Okay, what's up here then? Oh boy. This doesn't damage me? Okay.
Shiny.
Okay, nothing's damaging me. That's for sure.
Imagine the whole tunnel just starts lasering.
Deep focus.
Focus.
Oh, it's a charm. Neutral form within crystal over a long period. Draws in souls from the surrounding area. The bearer will focus souls at a slower rate, but the healing effect will be double. Okay, so basically I gain soulless, but my healing will be double. That's kinda a little bit gamble. Right? Let's sit there. Okay. So is there still more in the lore?
There's a lot more. We're going through a list of events concerning Necra Nama interactions with other races.
Oh, other races? I thought it's only Marines. Okay.
Yeah. Imperium, the races. But I think it's still from an Imperium perspective.
Yeah, because I was just getting that everything within the wiki or lore is everything like Space Marine records.
Yeah. A lot of it is from the perspective of the Imperium. Like, for example, all the Tau units like XV8, Broadside, whatever, Devilfish, they're not actually the actual names of the units that the Tau use.
Oh.
That's just the names the Imperium made up for them. I think it's I think it's the same for a lot of other factions as well.
Yeah,
it's all just Imperial names.
Even, I mean, it does do all the things when it comes to alien, like in the Halo, like everything. We named the enemy Grants, Covenant. Yeah, it's from the human perspective. I hate this area because there's this thing. Okay, I think I have to. Motherfucker! I hate you so much. Oh, there's only one of it. Okay, I think this. Oh god. There's two. Oh wait. Oh, that's the. Okay, let me. Okay, let me just go past you. Oh boy. Okay, well, this is a new area, and it's blank. Like, oh, I can just supercharge. Hi.
Oh.
Another. Oh, are we going to meet that person again? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the one who tricks me when he gives me power and then. Oh wait. Oh god damn it.
Oh.
It's a lot. I can access it because this thing. God damn it. I can't really. Yeah, I can't supercharge down. Maybe I still have to like a stump or something. Okay. I think we hit a 1 hour now. So yeah, we'll
Yep.
be stopping here.
Yay.
Okay.
Next time, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye. Good night. I love you.
Okay.